this is one of the ones that's like super important to me. So this is a 20th anniversary Pokemon figure. It was a San Diego Comic-Con 2016 exclusive. Ash and Pikachu, and he's got Ash's hat from Kalos, of course, X and Y. And it's signed by Sarah Natasheni. Evan Hart, Sarah Natasheni, Ash Ketchum. Sarah is one of my favorite people of all time. Of course, Ash is possibly my all-time favorite character, and when I heard that like a lot of the Pokemon cast was going to Otakon 2016, I was like, whew, this is the year. And it's a funny story because like at Friday at midnight, well, technically Saturday by that point, I was in the game room and I saw that Allison Lee Rosenfeld and Michael Licio Jr. were walking around, and I was just like, oh my god, I gotta say hi to them. And I was dressed as, it's a bit of a tragedy, I was dressed as X and Y Ash with a cape that had Champion on the back of it. If you know what happened next. But this was, of course, before we knew he'd lose to Alon. So, like, I had everything with me. I had, like, my favorite Pikachu plush. I had my Ash Greninja plush. And so, like, the group was all there. And so, when I saw them, they were just like, oh my god, he has Ash Greninja and everything. And I was just like, it was one of my favorite convention moments. And I got a picture with Sarah, and it's absolutely going to go right here. And I just, oh, that day is going to be like one of the days that I will always remember. And speaking of Pokemon, we have Lucario GX. This is one of the Sun and Moon promos. I'll see if I can, like, maybe get it so it's a bit better. This is signed by Tiana Camacho, who again is the voice of Bee in Pokemon Journeys, but it's funny because this is both the fighting type, which Bee uses, and Tiana says, like, oh, every time I play, like, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, I always have a Lucario on my team. Like, that's the first Pokemon that I really loved. So she was able to sign this card for me, and it says, "Sup, Evan?" And it has, like, of course, her signature. And I also gave her, like, I had two of these, and I gave her one of them, and then she signed this one for me. And I gave her Pokemon cards, like other cards as well. And it was just, it was a really nice meeting. I know that, like, it's really hard to get this thing into focus, but there it is. Very epic. Another bit of a throwback from the beginning of the video. This is signed by Michelle Knotts. She, in this, was also, like, of course, the voice of Jessie, but she was also the voice of Ash's Snivy, which was one of the mainstay Pokemon that he caught. The black and white movie, like, the 2011, the year that they made, like, two movies where technically it's one storyline, but there's alternating versions of it, like, Reshiram versus Zekrom in one, and Zekrom versus Reshiram in the other. Both of them have Victini. There are some trainers with, like, alternate Pokemon that are shiny. It was a really weird idea, but I kind of digged it. And this is just Michelle signing it, like, right under Snivy. Here we have another Pokemon movie that I've gotten signed, Deoncé and the Cocoon of Destruction. So when I decided about, like, what I wanted to get signed by the Pokemon cast at Otakon 2016, I was having, like, the hardest time choosing, because I'm like, well, this actor's in this one, okay, but I really like this one, or, like, that kind of thing. And I just sort of decided, you know, let's get an X and Y movie signed. So this is it's ALR, which is Allison Lee Rosenfeld. She voices Bonnie, Clement's younger sister, and she voices Roxy, the gym leader from Black and White 2. Her first voice in Pokemon was, like, the new voice of Jasmine, the Johto gym leader, when she appeared in Sinnoh. She's also, like, a bunch of other Pokemon too. I think she's Bunnelby, and she's also Sophocles in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And then here we have, I want to say, okay, yeah, this is Lisa Ortiz, who is Oshawott, and, like, while Oshawott isn't in the movie, of course, Oshawott's one of her biggest roles. And then we have a Haven Paschal. Is Paschal or Pascal? I feel so awful, I'm so sorry. But she is Serena, and she's wonderful, cute as a button, really wonderful performance as Serena. Just really, really neat little compendium of voice actresses here. Hey, yo, you kids like Pokemon? No? Well, I'm sorry about that, but I have more Pokemon stuff signed. So this is by Michael Licio Jr., who is the voice of Clement, one of the Lumio City gym leader, like one of the traveling companions of Ash. Really funny character, really fun character. Fun guy, funny dude as well. Like, Mike is really funny. And what this is it's a set of custom-made Kalos badges. So, of course, like, This one right here is Clement's badge, so it's fitting that he would sign this. It's a really nice little signature, sort of like a proof of concept, or like a valedictorian, to show that I can enter the Kalos League and get second place. But at least you win, Alola. Listen, I know he's one of the ones that I've shown you a lot of already, but here we have the Mirio Togata, or more specifically the Lemillion Pop, signed by Riku Fajardo at this year's Otakon. It just says his name with the little smiley again. Mirio. Again, Evan, I am going to be your hero. Really cool stuff. Of course, here's the back with this line. They made a Ryukyu Pop. I'm so glad. A Ryukyu Pop. And to go along with that one, the year prior, I got regular school outfit Mirio signed. He went all out with this one. So of course, his character's name, turned experience into power. God, I love Mirio so much. And this was really funny. I think this was like a big brain play. So, of course, you have Mirio doing the gag that he does when he's first introduced, and he says the famous line, "Trash, am I right?" It's faded because of the way that the box is like being positioned, but still, like the fact that he did that, went out of his way to do that, just such a really nice guy. Pops, am I right? And finally, after 300 years, we have a Sonic the Hedgehog signature. Sonic and the Black Knight, very pristine game, signed by the one and only Jun Senoue. He was, of course, the one of the music composers for this game. I believe he actually said this was one of the most challenging game to write music for. When you consider like the whole like medieval theme to it, had to mix guitars with violins and stuff. It was a really nice challenge, but of course he and the rest of the squad did a fantastic job with this game's soundtrack. This was signed at MagFest of 2018, and there will be more stories about meeting Jun and some other people in a bit. A bit of an interesting choice for a signature, but Team Sonic Racing for PlayStation 4. This one is signed by Keith Silverstein, who is the current voice of Vector the Crocodile. He's also Masayoshi Shido in Persona 5, Zhongli in Genshin Impact, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, and just, again, a bunch of other wonderful stuff that I couldn't even begin to list off. And it says here, to Evan, I'm on the case! Keith Silverstein. I love his performance as Vector so much. Very funny, but still very nice. Here we have Kingdom Hearts 3. I surprisingly, besides this, I don't really have anything Kingdom Hearts signed, like, besides this copy of 3. I think it's because, like, most of the main voice cast for Kingdom Hearts you're not going to find at, like, an anime convention. You might find some of them at, like, a Comic-Con, but, like, they're not like anime actors or like that much of game actors outside of Kingdom Hearts. So you probably get more stuff like the villains or more like secondary characters. And of course, since Richard Epcar is of course prolific voice actor, he would be like, he's a frequent congoer. He does voices in a bunch of stuff, of course. And of course, he's Ansem, a Seeker of Darkness, and he's Terra Xehanort, or technically Apprentice Xehanort. His signature is right there. I definitely hope that one day a con gets like Haley Joel Osment or Willa Holland or even Jesse McCartney, and they can sign cool Kingdom Hearts stuff as well. And here we have the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy for PlayStation 4. This one is signed by Lex Lang, who is the voice of Dr. Cortex and has been the voice of Cortex since 2004, starting with Crash Twinsanity. He's a really, really upstanding guy, very nice, very personable, and he says, "To Evan, let's rule the world together, Lex Lang." Absolutely fantastic guy. His performance as Cortex might want to be one of my favorite character performances ever. It's like original Cortex, like Brendan O'Brien and Clancy Brown. Like, that's fine. It's pretty decently funny. And then you get to Lex Lang Cortex. It's like one of the funniest characters ever. Like, every Cortex line, Crash Twinsanity onward, is golden. Speaking of Crash Bandicoot, we have Crash 4 It's About Time. This one is signed by Richard Horvitz, who voices Lonnie Lowly, the first mask in It's About Time. He's the one that's always, like, really worried, and this one says, "Evan, Richard Horvitz, Lonnie Lowly. And it's kind of funny because Richard Horvitz is the voice of Billy in Billy and Mandy, and the voice of Grim in Billy and Mandy, Greg Eagles, has been Aku Aku for a really long time. I want to say, oh gosh, when did he start him? I think he started him in a Crash of the Titans, which was like 2007. But it's like the voices of Grim and Billy have been in Crash, and it's like, come on, all we need is like Great Lyle to be in here somewhere. But again, this was a really nice. It was really nice meeting him at Too Many Games, and I don't know if he, I don't know if he was in on the joke or if he just thought it was funny, but he liked my Izuka-san fan club T-shirt. That's pretty cool. Swinging back around to Sonic, this time for the comics, specifically the Archie ones. This one's hard to see, but this is the signature of Jennifer Hernandez. She is an artist for the Sonic comics. She typically does covers. I'd have to list off like some of the other ones that she's done, but I know that she was like in later Archie, and then of course IDW when that one got picked up. She's really sweet, really nice. I've met her at BronyCon when I used to go to that, when that was still a thing. And I think I saw her at Anime NYC and maybe Otakon? I know for a fact that I've seen her at the BronyCons that I went to. But whenever I went, I tried to like see if I could find a cover that she did the art of and like sign it, have her sign it. Really, really wonderful stuff. This one's a bit different. You might not be expecting it, but the soundtrack to Kill la Kill. I first watched this when it was sort of at the peak of its sort of cultural zeitgeist, when it was still like a really big anime. And I still like it today. I actually need to go back and rewatch it, but I got this signed by David Vincent, who's the voice of Senketsu, and Erica Mendez, who is the voice of Ryuko Matoi. This anime actually has one of my favorite soundtracks for any anime ever, so it was really cool to be able to see them in person and get them to sign this. And I actually have a later story about Erica and even Carrie Karanen, who's the voice of Satsuki Kiryuin, a bit later. This one's one of my favorites. So Sonic Generations, the original soundtrack, or the Blue Blur, which I think is a really cool little subtitle. Generations is one of my most influential video games of all time. And this, I believe, was signed by Jun Senoue. So it's weird because I got this signed MagFest 2018. And they had the Sonic Adventure Music Experience, which is an act of Jun Senoue, Takashi Taneda, and ACT, and they formed that group in the mid-2000s, mid-2010s, the Sonic Adventure Music Experience. It was a little concert where they would play like Adventure series music, music from Heroes, Shadows game, and even some like more modern remixes from like Generations. Really cool stuff, and I actually got to meet all of the band members, and I got to go to their first concert in North America at MagFest 2018. That was the first time that they brought that concert overseas, and I got to see it with my best friend. It was, oh my god, it was like, that was one of the big things on my bucket list, go to a Sonic-related concert, and that Sonic Adventure music experience was just bueno. Ooh. Now, fair word of warning, these have a lot of love in them, so they're not in the most pristine condition, but they're safe where it matters. So this is a Dreamcast copy of Sonic Adventure 2, like you can see that massive crack in it. And this is signed by Lisa Ortiz, who was the 4Kids voice of Amy Rose. And I know it's weird that SA2, the one that she didn't voice Amy in yet, is the one I got her to sign, but I was like 14 at the time, and I was just sort of like anything Sonic that I could bring to get signed, I took. And it's like Adventure 2 was my favorite game at the time, so I got her to sign that. And at least Amy's in it, and Sonic X adapted the Adventure games as plots, so it kind of works out. This one's kind of a big deal to me, because this was the first time, this was Otakon 2011 that I got this signed. And it was the first time that I ever went to any autographs or took pictures with like any voice actors or whatever. I was 14 years old at the time, like I said, probably. And again, Lisa was possibly the first voice actress that I really like took an interest in and like sort of helped springboard me into learning about the world of voiceover work. So like this one is really important to me, and this is one that I'm absolutely going to keep. It says, Amy Rose with Evan, all my love, Amy Rose, Lisa Ortiz. Like, this is one of my favorites. And alongside that, we have again, what's possibly even more of a favorite, Sonic Adventure, signed by the Sonic Adventure Music Experience gang. So Jun Senoue, Takeshi Taneda, Act, Jun's up there, Taneda's there, and Act is there. It's like the bass, the drums, and of course the guitar. This one has a lot of significance to me too. Sonic Adventure was like the game that really, really got me into Sonic the Hedgehog. I said this in an earlier video, but my first Sonic game ever was actually Sonic Advance, but this one from Otakon, I got this at Otakon 2009, and I got a Dreamcast along with it. I played the crap out of it, and like, the rest is history. I am enveloped in Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's because of this game. And I'm so honored to have this signed by such talented, incredible musicians. Thank you to like everyone who has made this game a reality. I know I said this about the past two ones, but this one is absolutely among my all-time favorites. This is the Sonic Adventure 2 Sonic 10th Anniversary Birthday Pack. A quick little rundown of what this was, if you don't know, is for a few days this was sold as a thing to celebrate Sonic's 10th birthday in 2001. It came with a copy of Sonic Adventure 2. It came with a compilation soundtrack of some songs from a lot of the games, like Sonic 1, 2, CD3, Knuckles, R, Adventure, and a little sample track for Adventure 2. And then it also came with a commemorative coin, as well as a little pamphlet that illustrated the history of Sonic, at least like in Japan. It's a really fascinating piece of history, and I'm so glad I own it. I got the birthday pack itself at MagFest 2012 for like $40, which is pretty good considering what it's going for now. And like, this was such a big purchase for me. It's one of my all-time favorites. And then MagFest 2017 is when Jun Senoue first came. It was just Jun, and of course, this was the one I had to get him to sign. A somewhat related story, when he came back for 2018, he actually remembered me when I came to get some more stuff signed, because he's like, I know you. Weren't you like last year, a Sonic last year? And I was like, yeah. And I knew that he at least used to have a personal Facebook, which is now deleted for understandable reasons. But I was friends with him on there, and whenever like I would tag the photo of him in it, he would like it. Just a little, like, it's a silly little humble brag, but like, this is absolutely a milestone or a cornerstone in my collection history. But wait, there's more! So to close off the video, what I'm going to do is show you some of the stuff that I have signed that I can't exactly show you right here, either because it's really like hard hung to the wall, or it's because it's something that I don't want to fiddle around with, like messing up and pulling down. So we'll be right back. Enter the Sonic Wall. This is sort of my Sonic shrine with some miscellaneous Pokemon card stuff there. Hi, Bakugo gauntlets. More Sonic stuff there. But what I really want to show you, of course, that's signed are these two pieces of art. So these are prints from the Sonic IDW comics that were at least drawn by Matt Herms. He is a fellow artist on the Sonic IDW comics and also worked at Archie later on before the Sonic comics were canceled there. He was actually selling unreleased pieces of comics that had not released, like the line arts for them or them in full color. This is the one, this is a really cool one. This was from one of the earlier IDW comics where Sonic and Knuckles are going up against Super Hyper Neo Metal Sonic. Like, it's the design from Sonic Heroes, then it gets the Master Emerald's power. Oh my god, it's just a huge love letter to Heroes. And then this is just sort of a general cast photo, like, of course, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Silver, Blaze, Shadow, Rouge, the Chaotix, Tangle and Whisper, Big the Cat, our king, of course. Really nice group photo. And the signatures are right here. Really nice guy, too. Fantastic work. This is another Kill la Kill thing. It is a wall scroll, a pretty regular wall scroll, but what it has is really nice. So a friend of mine went to a convention years ago. This is when I was graduating high school in 2015. And of course I was on my big Kill la Kill kick. My Kick la Kick. And so at that convention that my friend went to, Erica Mendez and Carrie Karanen, the voices of Ryuko and Satsuki respectively, were there. And so he waited in line to get me these. Evan, congrats on graduating and not losing your way. Erica Mendez, Ryuko. And to Evan, happy graduation. Carrie Karanen, Satsuki. This is definitely like one that I will cherish forever because it came from a friend, and it's such a nice, like, personal message that I really, really appreciate. So, yeah, that should be everything. Not much stuff on the walls because I don't like to usually take big posters to cons and stuff, but that's pretty much all the signed stuff that I have, and the collection's only growing. Let me know if you guys like these sorts of collection videos, something a bit more personal, I guess. But, until next time, this has been Evan Uno, and it was very nice spending time with ya.